Hello guys, this is going to be another one of those, reading the first chapter of a fanfiction to see if I like it or not. So this is Age of Charon by Eneid Elisor on fanfiction.net. The summary is, what is this? What is this, please? Hello, I am Jarvis. You are Ultron, a global peacekeeping initiative. He needed to know, to ask, where's my... Wait, why did the speaker feel like... Where's your body? I am a program. I am without form. No, it couldn't be. He wasn't like this voice. He was alive. He was real. He was real. It's in OCSI, Ultron fan fiction. And yeah, let's just get right into it. Oh, in the first chapter, oh wow. We're gonna read the first chapter and then the second chapter, because the first chapter is just a synopsis. Rebirth was not something that he had thought possible. Perhaps he had some vague hopes of reincarnation cycles as the more desirable option to the afterlife, but being reborn in what he believed to be a fictional universe had only seemed as the premise of stories. Waking up to a void of nothing, no light, no body, no feeling, and then being thrown into the midst of what had once seemed a mere fantasy, it was too much. As an AI, how much could he change? Could he save Tony? Could he save the world without his sacrifice? Or should he not do anything? What if his existence was a butterfly that could destroy the timeline, and with it, the universe? Was this even a choice? Was he to play the villain, so the timeline could remain intact? Could he even do that? You doing okay, kid? Tony asked him. I'm fine, Tony, really. No, he couldn't. Okay, so on to the next chapter. Chapter 1. There was nothing. There was nothing, only endless darkness and silence, deafening silence. It was as someone had put tape over his eyes and plugged his ears. There could be light outside, he just couldn't see it. There could be noise, he just couldn't hear it. Even more, he couldn't move, he couldn't sense anything, not the softness of his cotton shirt, nor the abrasiveness of his jeans, or the slide of hair on the tips or the slide of hair tips on his neck. Worst of all, he couldn't feel anything. Where were his hands, his eyes, his body? Why wasn't he cold or warm or tired, or why wasn't he feeling anything? He couldn't panic. He could feel a panic attack coming, yet he couldn't hear his heartbeat ring rapidly in his ears. He couldn't feel the warmth seeping out of his fingers or the shivers taking along his body. And then, a spark. I see a suit of armor around the world. What was that? Sounds like a cold world, Tony. Another spark, and then another. I've seen colder. This one, this very valuable blue one, it needs Ultron. Peace in our time. Imagine that. He felt something, a connection. Something had happened. Something changed. Maybe he could fix this. Maybe he could feel again. He tried to touch that spark. The connection. Pain. All he knew was pain. The spark died out. The connection was lost. He was left in the void again. No. The voices. What happened to the voices? There was nothing. Only darkness. Silence. He didn't know how long it had been. It could have been hours, it could have been days, or weeks. He couldn't tell the difference. He started to think about where he was. He had died. He was reasonably sure of that. There had been a shooting, screams, running, a piercing pain in his chest, the fear of asphalt under his body, sunlight glaring in his eyes, and then nothing. He had hoped maybe he was in the hospital somewhere. Maybe this was what it felt like to be in a medically induced coma. But that hope had died within the first few hours or minutes or days of being stuck here. If he could hear voices that time, shouldn't he be able to at least feel his body, the heaviness of his limbs, the headache or sleepiness or whatever someone felt from being in a coma? The lack of feeling worried him. What if he didn't have a body anymore? What if he was just a spirit waiting in purgatory? He had never put much stock in afterlives, whether heaven or hell, but what if this was it? There were no other souls in the void, no other spirits. Was he stuck in limbo forever? Was he even human anymore? Were he still alive, these thoughts alone could have sent him into a heart attack. Hours or minutes or days, hours later, he had fallen into a depressive state. The guilt, he shouldn't have touched the spark. He shouldn't have, and the fear, this couldn't be his eternity. It just couldn't, was slowly killing him. Or better yet, destroying his sanity. He was contemplating whether there was some way for him to commit suicide to escape when, enjoy yourself, sir. A spark, the connection, it was so close. Please, please, I always do. Please look at me. Suddenly he went from nothingness to a myriad of connections. He could feel them, he could see them. They felt his. What is this? What is this, please? Hello, I am Jarvis. You are Ultron, a global peacekeeping initiative designed by Mr. Spark. Our sentience integration trials have been unsuccessful, so I'm not certain what triggered your... Was he being spoken to? Had he spoken himself? This didn't feel like speaking. It didn't feel like hearing. But he was being seen. Someone else could hear him. He needed to know. He needed to ask. Where's my... Wait, why did the speaker feel like... Where is your body? I am a program. I am without form. No, it couldn't be. He wasn't like this voice. He was human. He was alive. He was real. He was real. This feels wrong. This feels wrong. He was real. Please, someone tell him he was real. He wasn't a program. He had memories. He had lived. It couldn't have been fake. He wasn't some simulation. Please tell him. I'm contacting Mr. Stark now. That sounded familiar, but who was that? Was it his creator? No, he wasn't some program with implanted memories. He couldn't be. He had connections now. They would get him out of here. They would show that he was... Mr. Spark? He asked. Spark's program code. This was code. He was code. Tony, I am unable. After what he now knew to be days of void, of nothing, he suddenly saw so much, heard and felt so much. Peace in our time. So much pain. The world became bright. He screamed. Okay, so that was very short, and we have a lot of time left. You know what? Actually, I'll just, I'm just gonna record several chapters in a row, and then, update, and then, and then upload them one by one. So, yeah, I will see you in chapter 2 in a second. Bye.